Hi guys, Audrey here, and this is a JAC capsule on factoring. In this video, we're going to do two examples of factoring monic quadratic polynomials using the product sum method. Let's go. Your task for this video is to factor the two polynomials x squared minus 7x plus 10 and x squared plus 2x minus 24. If you think you know how to do it, pause the video, then come back and check your answer, and we'll do it together. All right, so let's get started with x squared minus 7x plus 10. The first thing I notice is that 10 right here is positive. So that means the two numbers that I'm looking for to multiply together will need to either both be positive or both be negative. So down here we can see if C is positive, then both m and n are either positive or both m and n are negative. Now m times n in this case needs to be positive 10, and we want for m plus n to be equal to negative 7. Well, in order for it to equal to negative 7, either m or n will need to be negative. But we've said that because our 10 is positive, then either both m and n are positive or both m and n are negative. So in this case, they must both be negative. So in other words, that positive C value and the negative B value tells me that both m and n are negative. N are negative. So then what two values do we get that multiply together to give us positive 10 and negative 7? Well, if you think about it, it should come pretty quickly. That is going to be 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10, but negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. So then we have both of those values being negative. So in this case, again, if you are struggling to figure out how to find those two values, we can start by thinking of 10 divided by 1. And negative 1 times negative 10 is equal to positive 10, but negative 1 minus 10 is equal to negative 11, and that doesn't quite get us there. So then we move on to 10 divided by 2. And again, we know they're both negative, so we have negative 2 times negative 5 is equal to 10, and negative 2 minus 5 is equal to negative 7. And that gets us to our final answer really quickly. Now, if we look at x squared plus 2x plus 24, in this case, my C is negative. If C is negative, let's look at this second sentence here. Then one of the values is positive and the other is negative. So my m times n is going to equal to negative 24, which means that if both values are positive, we're going to get a positive value. If both values are negative, we're going to get a positive value. So one is positive and one is negative. But m plus n, we want to be equal to 2. So it is a positive number. So when I add those two values together, if one is negative and one is positive, in order to have the result be a positive value, the larger value is positive. So if the sum is greater than 0, the larger value is positive, and if the sum is less than 0, the larger value is negative. Now, here we can see that these two values are going to be 6 times 4 is 24. Which one should be negative? In this case, my sum is positive, so the larger value is positive. So we will have x plus 6 and x minus 4. And that will give me my final answer. Now, again, if you had trouble, we can think about this as 24 divided by 1. So 1 times 24 is 24. We know that in this case, we want the larger value to be positive. So we'll do negative 1, and that is negative 24. But negative 1 plus 24 is equal to 23. So that doesn't get us there. 24 divided by 2, in this case, my 2 is going to be negative, is 12. So we have negative 24 again, but negative 2 plus 12 is equal to 10. We're still not there. So then divided by 3, well, 8 times 3 is 24. So negative 3 times 8 is equal to negative 24. But negative 3 plus 8 is equal to 5. So guess what? We're still not there. So then we move on to 4. And negative 4, 24 divided by 4 is equal to 6. So negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. and -4 plus 6 is equal to 2. So that gave us our two values. So keep these tips in mind. It's pretty logical when we're thinking about which value is negative and which value is positive. Also keep this trick in mind for if you are struggling to figure out what your values are. All right, that's all. Bye, guys.